from JVC in 1996. Here's the mini DV camera, the GR-DV1. This was a time when VHS tapes were going to go away, and before DVD, and of course the mini DV tapes I'm sure most of you have all seen, at least people of a certain age. They were kind of digital, except that the docking station and the analog outputs made them sort of not completely digital at the time before the DVDs were coming out. So there was a little bit of a transition here with this digital tape versus DVD discs. As originally sold, the camera came with a lot of different accessories. Most importantly would be the docking station, which you use to hook it up to your entertainment system and do all your playback and everything. Of course mine doesn't have that, so I'm out of luck there. There's a picture and an article about this whole system in the March 1996 Popular Mechanics magazine that describes some of this in detail and shows a good picture of that right there. All I got was one old battery, and that's it. No charger, so I can't really charge the battery. It doesn't charge since I don't have the battery pack. Excuse me, since I don't have the docking station, I can't get the charger. I can't get the battery charged. So I have to run it on 6 volts DC from another source, because the battery doesn't have enough power in it to run everything. We'll look around this in detail in a minute, what we can look at, because it really only works a little bit as far as the viewfinder and things like that in the menus. As far as taking video, it eats every tape I put in it. Once I was able to get 1 or 2 seconds of a video and half second of playback. I'm going to go ahead and show that, although it's kind of terrible, as the camera was just looking in through the viewfinder at the time, and since then I've never been able to get it to do anything. But we'll take a look at the functions that work. There's other videos on YouTube of the GR-DV1 kind of in action, but they're all about 60 seconds long or something, and they don't really talk about the camera. They just show some video from it. So if that's your thing, you can find those videos. Also, this does not have a good battery in it. You need the AC adapter and cradle to charge a battery. It will not charge from a 6-volt input, which is what I will use to power it today. So we'll certainly see some things going on that I hope that you will appreciate. It has quite a few features, and we'll use another machine to look at the viewfinder, so we won't have to put the camera in the viewfinder all the time. We'll get a bigger screen for an output, and we can get that video output from looking into this little boot on the side, and it has spaces for AV out, a microphone, and a DC in, which we'll use too. So we'll use some of these things, and we'll take a pretty thorough look, I think, at all of the actions. Before we start, we'll just look at some of the specifications here. You can pause your screen and read these. And the only thing I have is the base camera. No charger, no docking station, nothing like that. So I'm kind of making do with very little here. But I think it's the most important thing as far as making some sort of a video goes. Here's the instruction manual, as you can see. And it's pretty thorough. lot of things on the screen and the docking station as to what's what. You notice here it says December 25th, 1996, kind of a frame of reference as to when I guess this was coming out and all of that. I don't know how much we'll look at this manual, maybe a little. Alright, looking around here a bit, we have our pull-out color viewfinder at the top, and underneath there is a menu button. It's important. We have our left and right stereo microphones. They're at the front. Mini DV on the side. Here we have a little LCD screen that shows some information sometimes. Our open and eject for the tape compartment, which is not plugged in right now, so it won't work. We'll get to that. Has some markings on it. You can play, you can record, you can set like a 5-second setting for your recording to make a little 5-second interval tape. Down here you have a control panel. You can set it up for auto for everything, let the camera control it, or as usual you can do focus, exposure, white balance, and some professional features. And there's your set button right there. And here you have your telescope and wide for video, plus it sets. It changes the menu, which you can then press the set button to set your menu. Around the back, some constructions on loading the cassette. I don't know what this is. It's obviously a company that maybe sold these. I know I've seen, like on eBay, lots of these that seem to have that same sticker on them. I'm not sure. Digital video camera, GR-DV1. Here's your battery compartment. And in here, there's a little tray that slides out in here that has a, I think it's a 2032 battery to keep your clock setting. And then your main battery, I'm not even sure where my main battery is since it doesn't work really well. I've taken it out. It easily slides in there. Then over here is a little area where you can play back your tapes in the viewfinder. There's a remote control to operate the little cradle when you have it hooked up to your TV and stuff. And here we have our pertinent data, patent numbers, serial numbers. And over here, this area is usually covered by a little rubber boot, a 6-volt in, AV out cable, and microphone. And you have 100 times digital zoom. and you can take a snapshot. There's also a very, very cumbersome and burdensome wrist strap that was on here. The thing is huge and bulky, and I took it off because it just messed up everything. You could hardly even hold the camera with it. This part here, which we'll call the bottom, when the camera is in the cradle, makes a connection. So that part right there has to do with the cradle. Now with the power connected, you can see there's a little tally light that's on, and the that little small LCD screen here has a battery power level meter, and right now a little flashing thing that indicates there's no tape in the unit. Little warning sign there. Alright, I've hooked a 6-volt power source up to the camcorder so you can see the screen, the color viewfinder, sort of. It's a pretty good color viewfinder. Alright, I've got it hooked up now to the little other DV thing with a bigger screen, so we can see some of the menu items. We can get to that by pressing menu up here on the top, and you scroll through them using this button. System menu, you press set to system menu. 5 seconds, beeps on, when cuts off, blah blah blah. We can change any of those, or we can end. Set. We can go to date and time menu. Pretty simple. On-screen display is off of the date and time, and the display is off when you look through the viewfinder. We can turn those back on if we wanted to. Get some more manual effects here, your color codes and things like that. Fader and wipe menu. If you ever used any of these mini DV functions on any camcorder, these are all pretty stable. And pretty self-explanatory. They're no different than any of the other ones that you probably ever used. Gain up. Digital image stabilization. I think somehow I turned that off. Well, one or another it's going to be on for that. Zoom. You can go 20 times, 100 times. In wide mode, off or on. Squeeze, cinema. You can see how the screen is changing. Squeeze, wide. And end. Alright, well let's interject here the 1 or 2 seconds of video that I actually recorded on this unit and played back on this unit with another camera looking through the viewfinder, and that's after that total failure. Tape after tape, expensive tapes that I should have kept. But I'll show you the pitiful results I got. Error yet, but I will within about 1 second. This old JVC Mini D3. Well, before we leave, just thought I'd show one last look at the basic setup as they show them in their manual of all the components that they supplied pretty much for your $3,000. So you can have a complete system back in the day. Pretty nice. I'd like to have one. There's somebody I think right now on eBay selling something like this for $400, Germany or England or somewhere. But that's way past my means. I'll stick with my little, I think I got this 3 years ago at an estate sale for $2 or $3 or something like that. That's about what I can afford. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed what I could show of it. 1996 JVC GR-DV1 mini DV camera. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.